Hello, I'm here today with Roshan of Agito Networks, and we're here today to discuss mobility convergence. Pej, it appears that we've moved from fixed mobile convergence to mobility convergence. Can you discuss what that change means for enterprises?
Yeah, I think partially the change in name is something that's a little more relevant to the types of applications that enterprises are thinking about. Unified communications has kind of taken over the term, or become the term of choice versus IP communications or IP telephony. Partially, FMC to me was a very network-centric concept, and it dealt primarily with Wi-Fi and cellular and handover and those sorts of things. Unified communications is about all of it. It's about IM, presence, voice, conferencing, and the mobility aspect is implying that you can use it over any mobile medium. So that's where we see and kind of taken a liking to the term mobile UC or mobile convergence.
So Pej, can you give us some ideas of what are some of the challenges that an enterprise might face as they look forward to moving into mobile convergence?
You know, it's important to understand, what you're trying to get, what problems are trying to be solved. Typically, it's good to understand if it's around cost savings, where your costs are coming from as an enterprise. If it's around productivity, to understand what user groups you're planning to roll out to, and to get the right organizations within IT talking to them. So for example, the folks that are responsible for the mobile phones, the iPhones, the Blackberries, talking to the IP telephony folks, talking to the networking folks, the infrastructure teams, as typically these are the touch points that are involved from a deployment standpoint. But making sure you know what problem you're trying to solve, understanding if there's cost savings, what costs you're going to save or can save.
Yeah, I think cost savings is definitely one, especially in the international domain. And it's actually good that you also mentioned multiple phone types, because we're hearing a lot from enterprises about how do I support Blackberries, how do I support iPhones, how do I support the whole universe of devices that are going to come out. One last question for you. When you think of mobile convergence going forward, how do you expect that to evolve? What do you see as a future of mobile convergence?
It's actually a pretty exciting time. We've seen, FMC in the early days really be something that was very carrier-centric and have niche applications inside of verticals like healthcare and higher education. I think 2009 and more so 2010, you'll see become broad-based. Certainly as device support has become more prolific. You have more smartphones in the enterprise that can support these applications in the variety of networks like Wi-Fi and cellular and 3G and so on. I think what you'll start to see is the number of applications that are going to be rolled out by IT onto mobile devices proliferate, particularly around communications. I think from what we've seen, the number of proof of concept deployments of desktop applications for unified communications has really kicked off and started to transition to full deployment where everybody now has IM and presence on the desktop, and we expect to see that transition down to the mobiles. The great things that the PBX and conferencing vendors are doing for audio conferencing, web conferencing, also video conferencing, we expect to start transitioning down to the mobile as well. Not only as the devices and the types of users continue to proliferate, but as the devices get more advanced and can support these higher end applications.
Makes sense. More people, more devices, more applications. I want to thank you for your time.
Thanks, Maribel.
I look forward to hearing more about your products.